She taught me how to buy my first stock at age 7, and that was in McDonald's. And so at 7 years old, totally innocent, eating Milo Big Mac and French fries and apple pie and milkshake, she said, you can get rich here. You like to play the game of Monopoly. I can teach you today how to play it for real. She said, I'm going to take you home today and show you how you can own this place. She said, see, there's 3 types of people in the world. See that person over there that's working at the cash register? That's called a worker. And that poor worker makes minimum wage. Do you know how much minimum wage is? I go, no, Grandma, how much is it? She said, right now it's 85 cents an hour, which 7 seemed like a lot of money because I was like, that's a bunch of gum. But she said, it's not a lot of money and super hard to get ahead on minimum wage. She said, then there's you. You just came here and got the Big Mac and the large fries and the apple pie and the milkshake. Say thank you, by the way. Thank you, Grandma. And you spent money. And then there's somebody else who owns this place. I'm going to teach you how to own this place because when you own it, when you come eat here, you'll make money from yourself. When your friends come here, you'll make money from them. Grandma, how could I own McDonald's? She said, I'll show you. She takes me home. She opens up the Wall Street Journal. She circles MCD. She says, that's the stock symbol. Now go watch the TV screen. I'm going to teach you how to read the ticker tape. She gives me a pad of paper. She's like, every time MCD goes by, write down the number. That will be the moment the price goes by. That's what it's trading for right now. So the stock symbol is going by. I'm calling it out. $17, Grandma, $17. And something else, a line with a square. I didn't know what fractions were. And she's like, that's how much it costs to buy that stock. And then she took me to go buy my first share. She's like, now you own this place. Now you're an owner of McDonald's. At 9 years old, I go to Disneyland. I'm like, can you buy this place too? And that would be my second stock. Her lessons would shape my whole destiny. And so I was a financial advisor, and I came in the financial service industry in 1993 alongside my father. And we had a lot of older clients, and the clients were starting to die. And the ones that almost always die first are the men. 80% of men, this is an important statistic to write down, 80% of men die married. 80% of women die widowed, which is why I became a crusader for women's financial empowerment, because it's women who are the ones that are hurt the most in their older years. 80% of the poverty-stricken elderly are women. It's because you've lived longer. My grandfather passed away in his early 70s. My grandmother lived to be 86. I have 2 Grandma Roses. My mom's mom lived to be 96. Her husband died at 56. Guess what the average age of widowhood is still in this country today? 57. Whoa. Yeah. So we start having these clients who are dying, and I'm meeting with women who do not know how to write checks or read their brokerage statement. And I say to my father, Dad, what is going on in this office? We have all these clients that are dying, and they're all men, and we're teaching the wives how to read their brokerage statements at the worst possible point in their life. This is insane. He goes, well, David, what are you talking? He goes, here's the thing. Not everybody was like your grandmother. She's not the norm. We have all, this is 1993, we have all these older clients. She's like, it's kind of always been the men that are managing the money. I go, well, if Grandma Bach can do it, then we need to change this. I'm going to go teach a class for women in money. I had a vision to teach a class around this size. This is 1994. We send an invitation out. 222 women from our clients want to come to the first seminar. The invitations are coming in. My dad's opening the mail. He sees it, goes, you know, son, you may have a problem. I go, what's the problem? He goes, have you checked to see if the hotel room can fit this many people? I'm like, Dad, it was a brand new hotel. It was the Lafayette Park Hotel. I'm like, oh, I'm sure it'll be fine. He goes, you better call him. I call them up. They go, yeah, we can fit 107 people. So good news is the room is full. Now I've got to teach this class 2 times and 3 times. I just did an event 2 days ago with my sister, Emily, back in the Bay Area where this whole thing started, back in 1994. And I got to have a private event with our clients. There were 2 women from my first seminar in that room 2 nights ago. And the amazing thing is one of them was young. At the time, she was in her 20s. Now, 25 years later, she's in her 40s. One of the women in that room, her name is Lynn Hadley. I'm going to show you another book here in a second. Lynn Hadley came to that first seminar, and I taught her how to double down on her savings because she wanted to retire early. How many of you want to retire early? So Lynn came to the seminar, and she's like, I want to retire early. Well, then, Lynn, you need to make some serious changes. Okay, show me what to do. I showed her what to do. She retired early. Then she ended up in the Automatic Millionaire book to tell her story. Then she went to Oprah with me. So one more client sitting in my room 2 days ago from 25 years ago. So the first book I wrote after I taught this class for years was Smart Women Finish Rich. And then I've written a whole bunch more after that. Smart Couples and all these books you see here. There's been 11 books out. And it's just been a total blessing and a privilege to be out basically teaching now for 25 years. This is what I love to do. And today what I'm excited to do is teach you about the latte factor. So I have written 3 updates. These 3 books have been updated in the last 18 months. Smart Women Finish Rich, Smart Couples Finish Rich, and The Automatic Millionaire. I am always asked, which book should I read first? I'm going to tell you today, The Latte Factor. Most people start with The Automatic Millionaire. This book has sold 1.5 million copies. One of the most popular financial books of our time. Smart Women Finish Rich has sold over 1 million copies. It's the most popular financial book for women ever. Smart Couples Finish Rich is actually the most popular couples book. So it's 3 great books for you. Today we're going to talk about the latte factor. So, yes, this is totally different than anything I've ever done. And I wrote this book in a different way because I want to reach people who wouldn't normally read a financial book. So this is not a typical self-help, nonfiction financial book. It's a story. It is a story you can read. It's super small, and you can read it in like an hour, 2 hours max. And it's a story that's going to take you on a journey about a young woman named Zoe Daniels. And by going on the journey with her, you're going to learn the life lessons that you're richer than you think, that small amounts of money can change your life, that you're stronger than you know. And most importantly, you're going to learn it's actually not about the money. It's about your dreams and how you go get them. And that's what today's class is going to be about. Some of you are on my amazing insider team. Who here is from my insider team? So what? Are you 1, 2, 3? Okay, basically, the whole audience is from my insider team. So what I did to pre-launch this book, and I'm telling you all this because those of you who are at home, you can still join me. We created an insider team of people who want to change their life financially by reading this little story, and then ultimately we'll go share these lessons, these 3 secrets on how to build financial freedom with your friends. Because my idea was if we could get a couple thousand truly motivated, inspired human beings, that together we could go out and make a difference in the world, make a little dent. So I created this website. It's at thelattefactor.com. And bribery is an amazingly valuable tool. So what I did, and it worked because you all took the bribe, is I said, if you go buy 1 copy of this book, and you can do this right now too, on my website at thelattefactor.com, I'm going to entice you with bribes. And those bribes are free gifts. One of those free gifts happens to be, thanks to my friends at Create Live, you get the Start Late, Finish Rich course, which normally we would sell for $149, has 19 videos. Have you guys watched it? Yeah. It's amazing, right? And that's included. So you go buy the book, you get the ability to watch that course immediately. Also, another keynote speech, and then a bunch of other goodies. The most valuable, I think, is our Insider Facebook page. Because what's happened now is we have 1,600 people on this team. 1,100 got on Facebook, and now we have a viral community inside supporting each other. What I'm going to talk about also today is that you need people who support your dreams. You need to remove yourself from the toxic people, and you need to embrace the people that support you. And so at our private Facebook page, we've built a team that will support you. So come on over to thelattefactor.com and join us. A couple of things I also just launched is the Latte Factor podcast. This is all free. So at thelattefactor.com, you can download the podcast. There's 8 episodes. The first episode is the first 3 chapters of the book, narrated by me, so you can go listen to that today for free. Ultimately, when you go buy the audio, it won't be narrated by me, but that's on the podcast. So check that out. We just put this up yesterday, so brand new. So back to the book. I wanted to write a book that anyone would read, starting with my son. So my son, Jack, is 15. And he's the most amazing, I actually have the most amazing teenage son. Jack, I love you. I really do. I'm like the proud dad that loves his son. And my son, basically, he doesn't ever disappoint me, except he hasn't read any of my books. So every time I would put out a book, the books sit by his bed. I always sign them for him. And I'm like, you gotta read The Automatic Millionaire. You're at an age now. Dad, I go to your seminars. I don't need to read the book. No, you need to read the book. But he didn't read the books. Telling the truth. So I thought, if I put it in a story that a teenager could read, if I can reach people starting in their teens and college and millennials and anybody else who needs it but just would not read a financial book, I can help a lot more people. So my son, who's never read one of my books, he read this book on a plane flight in 2 hours, cover to cover, without bribery. So he turns to me and he goes, at the end, Dad, this book's really good. This book's really good. And he turns to the back of the book, and I'm going to show you in a little bit the chart. But there's this incredible chart in the back of the book. And he goes, is this chart real? And I go, yeah, it is. He's like, well, Dad, if I did this, I would be a multimillionaire. And I go, I know. And he's like, well, then we need to do this for me. So that really made my day. And then the second thing that made my day is this book, and we'll talk about this later too, but this book talks about going for your dreams and taking risk. And there's a story about my grandmother in there too, where I'll tell that later, but she comes to a fork in the road and she doesn't take the risk and she regrets it. And he read that part of the book and he said, Dad, the most important lesson I got from this book, I need to take a risk. And I'm like, you're right. Anything in life you really want, you have got to go take risk. You have to take the road less traveled. And I'm going to teach you how to do that today. There are a lot of you right now that are playing it safe. And safe's okay unless safe is making you sad. Right? A lot of people who are watching right now happen to be watching this at work because you don't like your job. So you've got earphones on and you're supposed to be working, but you're sad. You don't want your job. Even if it's paying well, it's not what you want to do. There was a recent study that came out by Intuit. They said there's 24 million people right now who have a job that want out in the next 12 months. And only probably, according to the survey, about 2 million will make the leap. It's like, man, first of all, I don't even know how they get these stats. They obviously did a big survey to get it, but I'm like, 24 million people basically they don't want their job. Look, I'm not trying to get everybody across America to quit their jobs today, but if you don't love what you're doing, we need to get you to financial freedom. We're going to talk about how to retire early. And I'm going to actually talk about teaching you today how to transition early. Because it's actually not about, in my opinion, retiring early. If you want to, fantastic, we'll show you how to do this today. But it's about transitioning you financially so that you are free to leave something that's making you sad so you can go for what your heart really desires. Does that make sense?